After a full year of running the ARRMA Notorious V6, I can say with confidence that it's the best version of this platform so far, but it's not perfect. Before this V6, I owned a V5 Notorious for a few years and a V4 Outcast before that, so I've spent a lot of time with this platform across multiple generations. Its short wheelbase and wide stance are what really sets it apart from other options on the market. Being a stunt truck, it's perfect for wheelies, flips, and mid-air control. Even when hitting the same ramp multiple times in a row, you can make each jump unique by pulling off different tricks. This version comes with a lot of nice improvements over the V5. Between the updated ESC tune and the larger pinion gear, this V6 is noticeably faster and more powerful than the V5. With the 6S LiPo, I was able to hit a top speed of around 62 miles per hour, which is over 10 miles per hour faster than the previous version. In addition, ARRMA finally nailed the steering setup in this truck. The V5 came with a pretty average steering servo paired with a soft, non-adjustable servo saver. With that setup, the truck never really wanted to turn sharp. This V6 has a stronger, faster, and more durable steering servo paired with a stiffer servo saver. The steering actually feels good out of the box in my opinion, and everything has been holding up well so far. You can always benefit from a stronger and faster servo in these 6S ARRMA trucks, but this is the first time that I really haven't felt the need to change the stock one. ARRMA finally included a solid rear wing mount on this V6. The old HD wing mount on the V5 would either break in half or pull the two mounting screws out from the top of the rear gearbox. This EXB version is mounted more securely and has additional bracing for reinforcement. Same with the front bumper. The old design would allow the bumper to fold up during hard impacts and either bend or break the two mounting screws in the front of it. This EXB version has some additional bracing and mounting hardware to prevent that. It also wraps under the front of the truck with a skid plate to help protect the chassis, which is really nice. The new 7075 T6 aluminum EXB chassis also seems to be holding up better than the previous chassis. Mine has taken some brutal hits, but it still looks to be straight. Although this version 6 is a big improvement, it's not perfect. One area that became a problem over time was the clipless body mounting system. Clipless body systems usually help these Lexan bodies last significantly longer because they distribute the stress more evenly among several mounting points instead of just 4 body posts. However, as the truck started taking more crashes, the front clipless mount began separating from the body itself. The Lexan has a small lip that the clipless system clamps onto, but once that lip cracks and breaks off, there's nothing to keep the body attached to the system. I was able to fix this by drilling 4 holes through the hood and into the plastic support tabs underneath. Then I just took some M3 screws, washers, and nuts to hold everything together. It's not the cleanest solution, but it has allowed me to use the same body for several months longer. After even more abuse, it looks like the next weak spot is right behind the front fenders. Cracks tend to form at the bottom corners of the windshield and then lead down towards those fenders, so that's an area you might want to reinforce. You can also expect to see some cracks in the bed right in front of the rear wing. It would be nice to see some aftermarket body options for this truck because you kind of get stuck running the stock body with this new clipless system. Moving on to the truck itself, the upper shock standoff nuts tend to loosen up quite often. For me, they've had to be tightened after almost every run. The pinion gear set screw and the 2 screws that hold the motor to the motor mount also back out occasionally, so adding blue Loctite to those ahead of time is probably a good idea. On super hard landings, the gear mesh can also shift slightly, which is something to keep an eye on if you're airing this truck out frequently. As far as breakage goes, the most damage I've experienced from a single crash happened during a failed front flip. I landed directly on the left rear corner, which pulled the arm out by bending the hinge pin and the C-block. During a different run, I also broke the upper front hinge pin brace from a pretty hard crash. Aside from those incidents, I haven't had any other parts fail, which is impressive considering the truck has seen about 16 full battery packs of skate park driving. The ESC and motor come with cooling fans out of the box, which is nice. These cooling fans can break on hard hits, but that happens with pretty much every truck. I tried running the ESC and motor without a cooling fan, but I was unable to get through a full battery pack without having to stop and let the electronics cool down. With that said, you'll want to make sure that you always have working fans. I decided to upgrade to these aluminum NHX fans. Although the fan blades can still break, the housing is a lot more durable. Now, I upgraded to this V6 Notorious from a V5. Was it worth the upgrade? In my opinion, absolutely. The V5 is solid, but there are a lot of nice improvements in this V6 that make the overall experience more enjoyable. It still has a few small issues, but if you're looking for a short wheelbase 6S truck that's built for stunts, this V6 Notorious is truly one of the best.